Two major hosts, Jeremiah Burton and Zach Job, have left the brand to form their own channel, Big Time.
Great name, by the way. How did they get that?
Well,
how did no one have
They did and didn't.
Oh.
So, like, their website is bigtimebigtime.com.
Oh, yeah, and their Instagram, I think, is at 3 times.
Yeah.
Big Time,
so
Big
like,
Time, Big Time.
You know.
But how did they get the YouTube channel Big Time?
Because
the website, like, who cares? I don't know that many people that manually navigate to websites these days.
That's fair.
I don't think short URLs, like, matter anymore.
I think it's a great name.
Yeah.
I think it's an awesome
Fantastic name.
Anyway, in their explanation about their departure, Jeremiah and Zach said that a turning point in their relationship with Donut was its increasingly corporate attitude, its gradual move away from passion projects, and its emphasis on growth above all else, particularly after Donut was bought out by private equity firm Recurrent Ventures, who also owns several other automotive channels. They expressed feeling disheartened by pitching creative, fun ideas and getting constantly turned down by their business-focused leadership. Likewise, according to Jeremiah and Zach, they were promised equity in Donut at some point, but received no financial remuneration from the sale to Recurrent. Their departure was featured at the end of a recent, it says 2 million view video, I think it's up to almost 3 now, where they mentioned that they will still be seen. Sorry?
I'm talking about, that's my notes.
Oh, that was on Donut's channel.
That's on Donut's channel.
Got it. So it was so
Donut themselves, so obviously there's the announcement video on Big Time, but at the end of a video on Donut, they let Zach and Job actually talk about the announcement of their channel, and they linked it in the description.
That's actually pretty classy.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to include it, because it sounded like it was all like, meh. And I don't think it was like that.
They also linked to Big Time's first video in the description. I do have to wonder, and I'm not accusing anyone of anything, but I do have to wonder a little bit if perhaps in order to maintain an amicable relationship, Big Time pulled some punches on their departure video. I feel like
it didn't really feel like it.
But I gotta wonder. I guess what I'm saying is, I wonder if there's like even more they could say. Because it seems, I don't know,
because there's still like another thing that wasn't in the notes, but I watched the video. At the end of the Donut video, not the Big Time video, at the end of the Donut video, when they're announcing that they're making Big Time, they also point out that they're still going to be hosting on Donut.
I thought that was just because they they'll still be seen as something. Is that just stuff that's not edited yet, though?
I don't think so. So based on how they said it, it sounded like, hey, yeah, there's some things that aren't edited yet. They're going to come out that include us. And the video after the next video features at least one of them, but I think both. And then I just don't remember. I haven't watched the whole thing.
They're finishing out their contract. Okay, there you go.
That makes sense.
So it's clear that both sides are potentially
still trying to play ball to a certain degree.
Trying to play ball with each other, which I think is a good thing. But I got to say, this is something that I've wondered about a lot, because as you guys know, there was an offer to purchase our channel from a very let's say a private equity firm. Let's say that
Clash of what?
Basically, they specialized in acquiring media companies, both website and YouTube, and I got a lot of assurances that nothing would change, and all that stuff, right? And as far as I knew, things were still going great at Donut until all of a sudden things super weren't going great, and basically I was reading about this. So it really makes me wonder if it was as simple as I'm not able to pitch my ideas that I think are really good, or if this has been brewing a little heavier for longer. Because when did the acquisition happen? Was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
It's been a while, and that's something that's been pretty interesting to me, is that a lot of the what is happening? Did we have extra blocks here?
Yes.
Oh, a lot of the fan reaction that I've been seeing is like, okay, so just to be, right on the nose about it, they released a video immediately after the video that they announced. Okay, things get weird because it happened on both channels. The video that they announced that they were splitting off on the Donut channel was called "We Put an $8,000 Body Kit on Our $500 Ranger." That video with 2 million views, at the very end of it, they announced that they're leaving. Then it links in the description to the other channel. The next video on Donut's channel is the "Is America Ready for Chinese Cars" video.
Yeah.
That video is covered in, I guess this is the influence of the company stuff, which, you know what, it definitely might be, but we've seen this happen with the internet a lot.
We've seen this happen on our channel a lot.
They hear something happened, and then they're like, oh, this change that happened today is because of this thing for sure. And it's like, guys, they were bought out a long time ago. Like we said, probably about 2 years or something ago. Like, this isn't new. And like, yes, that video might be because of contacts or whatever that this company has, and they got some sponsorship deal for it. I have no idea. I don't know.
Yeah,
if that's
Donut was
true or
acquired
not.
over 3 years ago.
Over 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So the change that happened the next upload, that's like that jump, the one video to the next video, is not what happened.
There's apparently another video from behind the scenes editor who worked at Donut that was more critical.
Can you pass me the front?
There you go. Yeah, November 2021.
And yeah, like I'm not surprised it's not going necessarily perfectly.
And I'm not saying that the hosts in the video, because people were saying like their delivery seemed kind of flat, like they seemed uninterested in this Chinese car.
Yeah.
That they were doing like a sponsored video on. And I'm not saying that they were super enthusiastic. It's quite possible that they weren't especially enthusiastic about it. I'm just saying that I doubt that this change is occurring overnight in the same way that it might feel like it is, because the news is breaking right now. I don't know. I know enough to know that we don't know enough, if that makes sense.
100%.
Like it is very clear to me that the stories we're getting are part of the story.
What I know for
sure. And I
sure,
don't mean that in like that they're being dishonest or that they're like misleading us or that that's a bad thing, that it reflects negatively on their character. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying it's very clear that, okay, kind of like when we left NCIX.
Yeah.
And we still had a contractual obligation. I didn't have an NDA that said I can't say, or I didn't have a non-disparagement agreement is more like what it would be, which is also an NDA. I didn't have a non-disparagement agreement or anything like that. But obviously, it wouldn't be in my best interest to be like, yeah, NCIX fucking sucks and like their leadership is super dumb. And I didn't really talk about the structural issues with the leadership until they were dissolved as an entity, and I no longer feared any legal repercussions, right? So I do kind of wonder if we're going to hear a deeper version of this story at some point in the future, is all I was trying to say earlier.
Yeah, another thing that I want to point out is that personally, I believe that the comments that people are making under the videos condemning Donut, basically, is not helpful if you would want to see this type of thing again, because Donut was actually very cool about letting them have that shout out in the end of that other video and linking to another channel that is not under Donut in their own video. Like, allowing that to happen was very cool. And I think the coolness of that is being significantly overshadowed by people just crapping all over Donut, which is unfortunate. I'm also super excited about Big Time.
You might say
their
you're
first video,
big time excited.
Yeah, true. Their first video is sick. The Fixing My Abandoned Project Car, Big Time, awesome video. There's some stuff like man, what is it called? It was like 100 hours in Brazil. Donut. This video, I spent 100 hours in Brazil's underground car scene. That video is sick. And then I spent 100 hours in Australia's underground car scene was also sick. And that feels like the type of content that they were describing that they want to keep making. So like, I'm very excited about the Big Time stuff. I just think you should be aware of the impact of audience comments on the relationship that they still have and the possibility of this type of thing happening in the future if this is something that you liked and wanted.
I have another thing to say. to the big time folks,
Yeah.
you need to big time reply to your emails.
Yeah.
I reached out to I want to sponsor. I want to sponsor big time.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to send over some screwdrivers, sponsor a video, or maybe a couple videos, maybe a series.
Dude, I'm so excited about big time.
Let's go.
The second I heard this announcement, I was like, yes. Yes, please.
I'm very excited.
Let's go. Yeah.
So I want to hear back from you guys. Go check your inbox. Make sure that your website contact form works. It's one of those things where, like, you know, you set up like a Squarespace site or whoever's powering it.
In this first video from Big Time, which I'm sure you haven't seen because it launched like today, at one point in time, he's like, the camera guy looks at one of them. He's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, trying to save the business." Basically, he's just on his laptop. Like, I think this is legitimately very fresh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%.
And they're in like, we got to make this work mode. So, and honestly, two massive personalities start a new channel that already has 1 million subscribers. Like, they probably have a lot of emails right now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But
still,
reply to mine.
reply to it.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Gonna be sick though. I'm really excited. I think they came out swinging with their first video. Apparently it's number 3 on trending right now, so they're killing it. Big time.
I am glad we didn't take the acquisition offer.
Yeah.
It's been an extremely turbulent period since the acquisition offer. There's been times that I've looked at it and I've gone like, I would be out at this point, you know, but that doesn't help anyone else in the team. That doesn't help the audience. I don't think that is helpful to the tech community as a whole. So I'm at peace with it now, seeing this, especially. I think this was, trying to think if there have been cases. Donut was honestly like the case of corporate acquisition not being the end of a channel that I thought about when I was thinking about whether to accept the offer or not. And I think maybe the conclusion just is that it's not possible. Maybe it's not possible for a channel to keep its soul. Can you guys think of an example of one that survived a corporate acquisition? And I mean, we haven't seen...
It's been 3 years. They're still dropping 2 million view videos. They survived.
They survived.
I'm not saying everything's peachy. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
To me...
Sounds like it's not perfect to at least be a writer/host there.
I wouldn't... Okay.
I haven't seen the editor's video. I don't know what else is going on.
Yeah, it's tough because
someone pointed out Smosh. They didn't survive the first one, but they survived the second one.
Yeah, but they also weren't corporate
They're doing
bought
great
out.
on the third one.
They were bought out by Mythical.
Yeah, that helps a lot.
Like, come on, that's not like, yes, Mythical is a corporation, sure, but it's also they're okay. Theorists. That's still too fresh for me.
Super recent, yeah.
Yeah, it's super fresh. I don't know. And when I say survive, I guess I'm talking about like the soul surviving.
I don't know if the soul is dead from Donut. I feel like people might be going in too hard. Again, it's been going on for 3 years. People weren't really pointing this out until now.
That's true.
I'm sure on the writer side, I wouldn't be surprised at all if it's gotten worse on the writer side. More sponsored content, more of your passion projects not being able to go through, all that type of stuff. What they said in their video resonated a lot, made a ton of sense. But the channel itself, I'm not talking about the experience of working on the team. I'm not talking about any of that kind of
that's
stuff.
Fair.
The channel itself has been doing well the whole 3 years.
That's fair. That's fair. And you know, it's tough sometimes too, because sometimes you'll have someone pitch a project, and I'm speaking from personal experience as an owner of a YouTube media organization, right? You'll have someone pitch a project and you're looking at it like, guys, that doesn't make sense. We can't do that. And on their side, they might feel like, well, this is something the audience would love and something that I'm really passionate about, and all of these things that, you know, I can hear these guys saying. And I'm kind of sitting here going, okay, well, yeah, but that might make sense when you're doing it on your own channel and you're working 14 hours a day and, you know, understanding that not going to be paid for a lot of those hours. But, you know, within an organization that has to have, you know, a proper overtime policy and has to have proper, you know, paid time off and has to have, you know, all of this overhead and all of this administrative burden, you know what, it wouldn't have made sense, because while you're looking at it going, well, this is a great idea and I could do this in 2 days. It's like, yeah, sure. If you spend those 2 days in a feverish working state and do and see absolutely nothing else, yeah, sure, that could make sense. But that's like 28 hours and I can't afford to have you out of commission for, you know, that period of time not working on other things. Like, it doesn't make any sense. We can't have a camera operator following you around like that all hours of the day. Like, think about some of the stuff that we used to do back in the day, like that Fallout bomb build where you and Brandon were here after midnight 2 days in a row getting that video done.
It was sick. I'd do it again.
I know.
Hell yeah, brother, let's go.
But part of growing up as a company is not asking that of people anymore, right?
You didn't.
I know, but
I totally did it behind your back.
Yes, I know.
Sorry, I'm just messing with you.
But also not expecting that of people, right? So I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see how Big Time does. I'm just generally really excited about, you know, people in the YouTube space like starting cool stuff, and this just seems like there's a lot of really good energy around it, and I want to support it. There, that's all I really have to say.
There's been a bunch of comments in Floatplane chat trying to point out to me that the channel still doing well doesn't mean that the culture behind it and stuff is still great. I just want to make it super clear that that's why I drew the line between the two. I already knew that. I just like you have really no idea what it's like there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to point out.
And one employee is not enough for me to go, yes, that is the 100% truth. Two is still honestly not enough. You don't know the whole picture.
How many people work there?
I think it's like 40-ish. Yeah, so the only way that I think I would be able to really tell what it really is like would be to work there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
the
that's
thing
the only
I
way to
know
tell
for sure is I'm super excited about Big Time. Everything else, honestly, I have no ability to impact, and it doesn't matter. Just go watch Big Time. Enjoy the content. It's going to be great.
Yeah, more is not more better. Or more is not more worse is what I was going to say. Just more car content. Can't complain. I mean, it's there's a whole sea of viewers out there. There's enough of them for both Big Time and Donut to continue to exist.
Yeah.
Kettle. Or no, not Kettle. Long Linus says humble PC would not happen on bot LTT. I don't think that's true. We have been
humble PC.
Yeah, that was that like crazy build we did with like $5,000 worth of fittings or whatever it was.
PC? Oh, that one.
Yeah,
okay,
the humble PC.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous, you know, just memeing.
Yeah.
And no, humble PC would happen on bot LTT. That one we didn't lose money on that. However, excuse me, sorry.